We got a good one here for you today. It is the 18th of July in 1871. Popping in briefly to keep my streak going. Thank you, Stuart. Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the 5-stream watch streak, Smikey. Appreciate that as well, man. But yeah, welcome to the 18th of July in 1871. And we've got ourselves an absolutely colossal matchup here tonight. We have the 12-3 Boston Red Stockings. They lead the American League by 2.5 games, and they are going to be playing the 10-8 Philadelphia Athletics. The Athletics kind of right there the whole way with Boston. Fighting for the American League pennant at the start of the season, back in May. And then a disastrous June swoon has hit the Athletics. And that's dropped them not only into third place in the division, but 3.5 games back of Boston now at 10-8. And in need of a big win here tonight over Boston to pull them back to within 2.5 games. Boston playing the final game of their first half of the season, so they officially complete first half of the season after tonight's game. Philadelphia on game 19. They have 13. They will have 13 left after tonight. So Boston 16 left after tonight. Philadelphia 13. But a win here would pull Boston 3 games clear of the rest of the American League. It would push Philadelphia 4.5 games behind and only a game above 500. As the race for the pennant heats up as we get into the later stages of July. August being what's going to be really a crucial month for a lot of teams, especially in the National League. But with Boston's lead here in the American League, it could be a wrap if they continue to steamroll the way they have. They won 11 in a row, Boston did. Then they lost their last game. And that loss snapped an 11-game winning streak. They are looking to now go 12 wins in the last 13 if they can beat Philadelphia here tonight. Let's go over your starting lineups, starting with the visiting Boston Red Stockings. Just the second meeting between these two so far this season. Bub McAtee takes the mound. Bug McAtee will lead things off, I should say. The first baseman batting 371 with 8 RBIs so far this season. He's 2 for 4 versus Matthews. Al Reach is in the 2 spot. The right fielder batting 362 with 14 RBIs, 1 for 4 versus Matthews this season. Tom Carey, second baseman, will bat third, batting 347, 20 RBIs so far this season. I believe that leads the American League. He is 1 for 4 so far versus Matthews. Andy Leonard is in the 4 spot, batting the shortstop, batting 348 with 10 RBIs, 1 for 4 so far this season against Matthews. Tommy Beals is in the 5 spot, catcher, batting 373 with 11 RBIs. He is yet to get a hit in 4 at bats versus Matthews. Gene Kimball will get a substitute start here today. The pinch hitter getting the start, batting just 200 in his 10 at-bats so far this season, but 3 RBIs. Has yet to face Matthews. Joe Batten will bat 7th, the third baseman, batting 186 with 7 RBIs so far this season. He is 0 for 3 versus Matthews. Tom Patterson, the pinch hitter, only 6 at-bats so far this season. 2 hits in those at-bats. No RBIs. One of those 2 hits coming against Matthews, whom he faced 4 times. Asa Bernard, the pitcher, completes the lineup batting 9th with a 184 average and 5 RBIs. He's 0 for 3 versus Matthews. We'll come back to the pitching matchups in a moment. Let's go over your starting lineup for the hometown Philadelphia Athletics. Left fielder John Hatfield, Lady Emerald.
Evil soul, quit your groveling. I will send you to hell.
Thank you for the 50 bits. Appreciate you, Lady Emerald. I hope you're well. It's good to see you. Right. Let's go over the starting lineup for the Philadelphia Athletics. Sorry, John Hatfield, left fielder, lead things off. 333 average, 7 RBIs so far this season. He's yet to face Asa Bernard. Scott Hastings will bat second. The catcher batting 247, 5 RBIs. He's 0 for 4 versus Bernard this season. Ed Pinkham, the third baseman, bats third. 342 average, 15 RBIs so far this season. He's 2 for 4 versus Bernard. Tom York bats fourth. The center fielder is batting 256 with 8 RBIs so far this season. He is 1 for 5 versus Bernard. Dickie Pierce, the shortstop, bats fifth. 1 home run, 14 RBIs with a 329 average. He is 2 for 3 versus Bernard this season. And Dick Higham is right behind him in the sixth spot. Second baseman batting 362 with 1 home run, 17 RBIs. He is 2 for 4 versus Bernard this season. Charlie Bierman, the first baseman, will bat seventh. 1 home run, 9 RBIs so far this season at a 273 average. He's bat 1 for 3 versus Bernard. Neely Phelps, the right fielder, bats in the 8th spot, 250 average with 11 RBIs. He is 0 for 4 versus Bernard. And Bobby Matthews in the 9th spot, 258 average with 3 RBIs. He is 1 for 4 versus Bernard this season. On the mound for Boston is Asa Bernard, 10-3 in 15 starts with 2 no decisions, 2.77 ERA with a 1.61 whip. He is 0 for 1 versus Philadelphia so far this season. He did not give up an earned run in that game. And on the bump for Philadelphia will be Bobby Matthews, 9-7 in 18 starts so far this season with 2 no decisions, 2.97 ERA with a 1.30 whip. And he got the win in the previous match versus Boston. Also did not give up an earned run in that game. It is a 10:05 a.m. first pitch start from the Jefferson Street grounds in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It is partly cloudy. It is 77 degrees. For those of you that use Celsius, that's like 25, I want to say. That is actually 25, yes. And the wind is blowing right to left at 11 miles an hour. Thank you again for the 50 bits, Lady Emerald. Let's get ready to Jefferson Street grounds in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for this matchup between the Boston Red Stockings and the Philadelphia Athletics. Before we begin, we got to have our first inning sponsor. Ziggurat is an awesome FM Euro Truck Simulator 2 and Arc Raiders streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. This is an old clip. But to give him a follow if you haven't already, the great Ziggurat is going to sponsor our first inning here today. I remember these days. I used to play PUBG myself. But yeah, give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Ziggurat. Bobby Matthews is on the mound, ready to go. Asa Bernard settles into the batter's box. I'm sorry, not Asa Bernard. Good Lord. Bub McAtee settles into the batter's box. Here comes the first pitch from the Jefferson Street grounds in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We are ready for some baseball. Philly trying to do what they did earlier in the season and down the Red Stockings. Just one of 3 losses for the Red Stockings so far this season as the first pitch comes in, and this is ripped into center, right at the center fielder. Oh, no, it's over his head, and that's extra bases. It's misjudged by the center field. This could be a triple. And he does. He's into second with a stand-up double, and McAtee is aboard with a double to lead things off. That's going to bring up Al Reach, the right fielder. First pitch to him. Al Reach tries to show the bunt, but it's called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Bunted back to the mound. Throw over to first is in time. It was actually Higham who came over to cover the bag from second base. So 1-4 is the putout, but going to third base is McAtee. Second baseman Tom Carey settles in now. Runner on third, 1 out. Here's the first pitch to him. That is off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0. He's waved at that one, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the right field line. Still 1-2. Here's the pitch. And that is shot, popped up into center. Right at the center fielder. He's got it. Is the run going to score? Yes, it does. And it's an RBI sac fly. RBI sac F8. And Boston have taken the lead. Welcome in, Gadava. How are you, man? How you been? Here's Andy Leonard. He's popped this one up in the infield. And the shortstop's there. He's got it, and the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left on base. We go bottom first here in Philadelphia. Boston has taken a 1-0 lead. John Hatfield will lead things off for the Athletics. How you been, Gadava, man? Good to see you, dude. Hope you're well. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom first here in Philadelphia. 1-0 Boston lead. Asa Bernard on the mound. John Hatfield settling in, left fielder. Here's the first pitch to Hatfield. Grounded back to second. The throw over to first is in time, and Hatfield is retired on the first pitch. That'll bring up catcher Scott Hastings. Nobody on, 1 out here for Philadelphia. First pitch to Hastings. And he's taking that at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. I'm going to my first ever baseball game in September. Going to see the Giants. I was thinking of wearing a hot dog costume so people can look for me, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you need to go with a hot dog costume. Whatever floats your boat. Might be a bit hot for that in September, to be fair, Papas. How you doing, Papas Fritas? Papas Fritas. I actually told Grace Tendo, because Ian, it's at 6:30, so it might be cool by that time. Not in the summer. Not in the summer. That sun don't go down to 8 o'clock. Yeah. What was I gonna say? So Grace Tendo, one of her lovely community members, Serial Streams and Ian Bigfoot recorded like different ways of saying Grace or or Grace Tendo, her name. And I told her today, I'm like, I got this big microphone and a mixer. I should do like a ring announcer entrance for you as one of the things, because when you type in exclamation point Grace, you either get somebody saying her name is like a zombie, or yelling her name, or singing her name, or like operaing, or something like that. And I'm like, I should add to that by doing like just doing Grace Tendo like as a ring announcer with nothing else, like just Grace Tendo, you know what I mean? And then I should also do one that's like the full introducing the champion in the blue corner from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? Like the full, she is the undisputed, undefeated. You know what I mean? And just go the whole 9 yards. So. I'm back, you sexy wallet. What's up, Swanky? I need to shave, yo. This is coming too thick. This weekend, I think. What's up, Ducky? I need to look young again. Confused Pingu again. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bruh. That's outside 1-1. Here's the 1-1. I'm happy you're going to baseball, though. It's a fun time. That's high and away, 2-1. The Phillies have such amazing food. I really want to go just to get the food. I'm not gonna lie. The burn-ends cheesesteak got voted one of the best foods in all of Major League Baseball, and I'm so ready to have that again. I had it last season. I am so ready to have that again. Like, it was diabolically good. I just want to see men in uniform. Fair enough. Mad Scientist, how are you, bro? I hope you're well. Welcome in, man. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Scott Hastings. Grounded foul down the third base side. It'll be 2-2. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you, man. How's life over the pond? Okay, I have to get back to work, but wanted to stop in and bug you. Sounds good, Fritas. I appreciate you stopping by. I'll give you your shout out very shortly. I think I got you lined up for like the third, probably. I think right now Smikey's the second, Stewart's the third, you are the fourth, and Mad Scientist is the fifth. It's late, yeah. I know it is over there. It's what, 1:30 in the morning, man. Have you been editing again? Is that? No, I know you did. I know you kind of finished with the what is it, 01 database. So, but yeah, man. I hope you're keeping well, though, man. I really do, and I hope the dog is keeping well as well. I hope the dog is doing good. So, here's the 2-2. Oh, that's high, and he hurt him. He plunked him. Hastings was hit by the pitch. And he gets first base for free, and that'll bring up Ed Pinkham. All good. Dog as well, thanks. How's 1871? This is a big game, man. This is a big game. So Boston are 2.5 atop the American League, right, over Cleveland. Philadelphia are an additional game back. So Philly are 3.5 games back. Boston won 11 straight and then lost to Cleveland, and that snapped a 11-game winning streak. If Philadelphia win tonight, they'll pull within 2.5 games of Boston. Cleveland will pull within 2 games. If Boston win, Boston will go 3 clear of Cleveland, and they'll go 4.5 clear of Philly. And we're in July now, so We're into the second half of the season for all the teams except Boston. This is still the first half of the season for them. But, like, Rockford have played 21 games. They only have 11 games left. So we're getting to the business end of the season now. And it's been good. The last game we had was a barn burner of a game. Now, the last game we had, I think, had 3 lead changes, and it was a 1-run game. So we're hoping for a close game here tonight. They seem to be the best. They're always the best to commentate the close games. Good evening, Mossman. Good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Nice stream earlier today. Here's the first pitch to Ed Pinkham, who settles in, third baseman. He has ripped that. That is high, but drifting foul, and it will land in the seats. 0-1 the count. The American League has, like, the potential to tighten, and that's what these two teams are both in, the American League. The National League is on a knife edge. A knife edge. Fort Wayne lead the National League by a half game over Rockford. I think actually it's Fort Wayne and Chicago are joint leaders in the National League, and they are 1 game ahead of Rockford, which is us. And then Fort Wayne is out of it. Fort Wayne is done. Fort Wayne is 9 games back with 9 games to play. So literally, if Fort Wayne win a game, or Chicago win a game, or Fort Wayne lose a game, then they're mathematically eliminated. Any one of those 3 scenarios eliminates Fort Wayne mathematically. So they're done. But the rest of the 3 are all within a game of the league, and you have to finish top of your league in order to make the World Series. So it's the National League's crazy tight. Boston's trying to run away with the American here, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how that turns out, because at one point I think Chicago were 3.5 games ahead of the entire division, and it looked like they were going to run away with it, and then all of a sudden everybody's in the mix again. So New York is still technically in the mix as well. I think they're only a game and a half back. So in the National League, yeah, it's wild. Here's the 0-1. And that's ripped into center, right at the center fielder, though. He's going to catch that. That'll be 2 away. Hastings cannot advance on that fly ball. And that'll bring up Tom York, center fielder. 1 on, 2 out here. First pitch to York. He's fouled that off. It'll be 0-1. We got a lot of out of the park coming this week, next week. We got another game on Friday, another game on Sunday. I'm finishing season 14 of The Longest Save on Sunday after out of the park. And we have another game on on Monday, and then another game on next Thursday. So I would say in the next 10 days, we're going to have about 5 games of out of the park. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is in the dirt, 1-1. But July has, after tonight, there'll be 8 games left in July to cover. So we're almost going to be done July by the time April's finished. Here's that's grounded over to second. On to first in time, and the side is retired. No runs or no hits. They leave 1 man on base. We go top second here in Philadelphia, and Boston has a 1-0 lead. 5, 6, 7 spot is due up for Boston. Tommy Beals is the first man up. But first, new inning, new sponsor. Swanky Pants is an awesome football manager, Fall Guys, Fortnite, Warzone, Rocket League, streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Swanky Pants will sponsor tonight's second inning. That's a hell of a goal. I don't know, Swanky. Didn't look good for you. It's a hell of a goal, though. Yeah, give Swanky Pants a follow. He is our sponsor for tonight's second inning. Oh, that's, yeah, he's so late on that, too. I know the pain, man. Right. Much love, Benny. You are welcome. Tommy Beals settles in. First pitch to Beals. That's high and inside. Ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That caught the outside part of the plate. 1-1. The 1-1. That's high. That's flied into right. Just drifting foul. Will land foul, though. 1-2 the count. The other thing, too, by the way, tonight is the final page in this book, this scorebook that I've had, that I've been tracking the games. We started this save in June of 2025. All these games are done. This is the final page in the scorebook. I have to move to a brand new scorebook for Friday's game. Here's the 1-2. That's popped up. That's going to be a base hit. And a little blooper in the left for Tommy Beals gets him aboard to lead off the second. I hit a new low. Why is that? Here's Gene Kimball, the left fielder. First pitch to Kimball. And that is going to get by the catcher. That looked like a called strike. Was it? No, it was given a ball. But it gets by the catcher, and going to second base is Tommy Beals. Here's the 1-0. That gets by. What the? It's a wild pitch on Matthews, and going to third is Beals. Here's the 2-0. That is right down Broad Street. 2-1. Here's the 2-1. That's caught the outside corner, 2-2. The 2-2. He's fouled that off. But I'm good. Thank you, Benny. Hey, no problem, man. Good to hear you're good. Here's the 2-2. That is flied out into right. This should be deep enough to get the runner home. It's caught. And tagging up is going to be Gene Kimball, and we've got ourselves another RBI sac fly. As Beals scores, it's 2-0 Boston. Here's the first pitch to Joe Batten. That one misses away, 1-0. The 1-0. He jammed him. It's in foul territory on the left. And that will land foul. 1-1. 1-1 pitch. High, 2-1. You're going to start to see the NHL scores taper off, by the way. Tomorrow is the final day of the NHL regular season. So, granted, there's still playoffs, but it means you're only guaranteed 8 games a night maximum instead of the potential for 15. So, you feel a lot better compared to yesterday? Good, man. I'm glad. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one's going to be into right. Base hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Extra bases aboard here. And it's a double for Joe Batten. Runner on second, one out now for Tom Patterson. First pitch to Patterson is inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0, and Patterson fouls that off, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Patterson's late on that one, 1-2. Speaking of needing a shave, I had one earlier, nice. Yeah, I think I'm gonna shave this weekend. Probably Saturday morning because I'm not streaming and I'm going to the game that day. Here's the 1-2. Grounded foul. Stays 1-2. The 1-2 is lined into center, right at the center fielder. He's got it. That's 2 away. That brings up Bobby Matthews. That brings up Asa Bernard. Here's the first pitch to Bernard. That is right down Broad Street for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Inside, ball one. 1-1 to count. The 1-1 pitch. That's grounded over to third. Throw from third is in time, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the second, and Boston has made it 2-0. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 spots due up for Philadelphia. Dickie Pierce is going to be the first man up. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom second in Philadelphia. Athletics trailing by 2. And we're going to see. Oh my goodness. I've absolutely what's going on here? There we go. I was like, why is it not coming up my screen? And apparently my cursor was down on the bottom looking at Sassmass's bot, and I'm like, why is Out of the Park not? I'm like, oh yeah. Right. Go on. Right. First pitch to Dickie Pierce. And that's taken high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's grounded foul. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's off the plate away, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That is ripped into left, way back there. Is it playable? The left fielder's got it. And Dickie Pierce gave that a pretty good ride, but he kept it in the ballpark, and that's one away. Dick Higgum, the next man up, sent second baseman. First pitch to Higgum. That's inside, 1-0. There's the 1-0 pitch. And Higgum rips that into right, but it's kind of right at the right. It's over the right fielder's head. Higgum's got a double. Is he going for more? He's trying to stretch it to a triple. The throw to third is not in time. And he does get to third base. That's a huge triple. Hold on. I was like, what is that noise in here? It's my dad apparently just outside the door. Right. Charlie Bierman settles in, first baseman. One on third base with one out. First pitch to Bierman. And Bierman lines this right at the second baseman. He's got it. And that does not help Philadelphia now. There's two outs. Here's Neely Phelps. First pitch to Phelps. That is high. Ball one. There's the 1-0. And Phelps grounds that over to first. Pitcher's over there. Save! He's beaten the throw. It's an infield single from Neely Phelps. He just beats the throw. Higgum scores. And it's a 2-1 ball game. Here's Bobby Matthews. The pitcher settling in. First pitch to him. That's taken high. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Grounded back to second. The throw over to first is in time, and the side is retired. One run on two hits, and they leave one aboard. We go to the top of the third here. It's 2-1 Boston. It'll be the top of the order, due up for the Red Stockings. Bub McAtee will be the first man up. But first, new inning, new sponsor. DM Stewart is an awesome speedrunning retro game commentator. Commentates the Final Fantasy Randomizer with FF1 and the Worlds Collide Randomizer with FF6. Give him a follow if you haven't already. DM Stewart, 1981, is our sponsor for tonight's third inning. Bub McAtee is going to lead things off for Boston. He had a double in his first at bat. First pitch to McAtee. And that one is taken right on the corner for a called strike. It's on one. Here's the 0-1. And McAtee is behind on that one, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Bub McAtee. Off the plate away, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He's fouled that into the seats. It stays 1-2. There's the 1-2. It's fouled off again. Still 1-2. A 1-2. Inside, ball 2. The 2-2 pitch. Off the plate away, 3-2. And now the count is full. Here's the payoff pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask third base. He did not go, says the third base umpire, and Bub McAtee's got to walk. Here's Al Reach. He grounded out his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Reach. And he's taking that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. Here's the 0-1. That's chopped foul down the third base side. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Inside, ball 1. The 1-2. Inside, ball 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that's grounded over the short. They go to second for the lead runner, and it'll be a fielder's choice. So Al reaches aboard. They throw McAtee out at second. And it'll be 1-on-1 out here for Tom Carey. Carey had an RBI sac fly his last at bat. First pitch to Carey, and he's grounded this over to short. The throw over to first is a bad throw. So E6. Somebody had a fumbly wumbly, exclamation point E. Dinky Pierce gets credited with the error. Now that's 2-1 with 1 out here for Andy Leonard. He popped up to the shortstop his last at bat. First pitch to Leonard. It's a double steal. They're going to throw to third. He's safe. It's a double steal. That does count as a stolen base for Carey as well. So runners on second and third now with 1 out. Great double steal from the Red Stockings. First, here's the pitch. That's high, 1-1. There's the 1-1. That's popped up in foul territory. That's going to land in the seats. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Leonard. Inside, 2-2. The 2-2. Grounded over to second. The throw one to first is in time, but the runner scores. Going to third is Carey. Coming home is Reach, and it's 3-1 Boston. RBI ground out. That's going to bring up Tommy Beals. He singled his first at bat. First pitch to Beals. That's inside, 1-0. There's the 1-0. That's going to catch the outside corner. 1-1. Thank you for the lurk, Thomas. Appreciate you, man. Here's the 1-1. Lined into right. That's drifting foul. It will land foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off the plate away, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Rounded over towards short. The throw one to first is in time, and the side is retired. 1 run on no hits, and they leave one aboard. We go to the bottom of the third. It's 3-1 Boston. Top of the order is due up for Philadelphia. It'll be John Hatfield set to lead things off. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom third in Philadelphia, 3-1 Boston. A pivotal game here in the American League. And it'll be John Hatfield settling in. First pitch to Hatfield. That's back up the middle, base hit. And Hatfield's aboard. That'll bring up Scott Hastings. He was hit by the pitch his last at bat. First pitch to Hastings. And he waves at that one with the bunt, but he pulls it back in time. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0. He waves at that one. That one's high, 2-0. He's putting the bat out like this. And then when he realizes it's high, he pulls the bat barrel back so he doesn't take the strike. Here's the 2-0. That one's bunted down to the mound. The throw over to first is in time. So a sacrifice bunt for Hastings. He moves Hatfield over to second with 1 out. Here's Ed Pinkham. He flat out to center his last at bat. First pitch to Pinkham. He's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And he's going to take that at the lettering, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Grounded foul. He stays alive, 0-2. The 0-2. Inside, ball one. The 1-2. Off the plate away, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Ooh, that did not miss by much. Just off the plate away. And the count is now full at 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. And that is lifted into right. That is going to drop for a base hit. Going to third will be Hatfield. Pinkham's aboard on a single. And it's runners on the corners with one out here in the third. Here's Tom York. He grounded out his last at bat. First pitch to York. He's behind on that one, 0-1. Heindo, any fucking chance, Heindo? Here's the 0-1. That gets by the catcher. Coming in to score is Hatfield. Going to second is Pinkham. It's 3-2. How the fuck are we, brother? We're good, man. How are you? I got another piece of, I don't have it yet. I can check VGen right now, actually. I'm getting another piece of art. Hold on. Oh, that was a proposal. Okay. I need them to actually, like, mark it complete, but they sent me the final coloring of the piece and said, is there any final, before it's official, are there any last changes? And I said, no, looks great, publish. So they have yet to respond to that, but when they do see that and they publish it, you have a severe art addiction then. Yeah. Given the fact I can't say anything because I definitely did get a proposal today for another commission. So you know what? Guilty as charged. I'm great, man. So happy at how that turned out today. That's sick, man. I'm so happy for you. It was an awesome stream. It was absolutely awesome, man. Right. 1-1 to count to Tom York. Here's the pitch. And that is shot into center. And that is going to be back there. Center fielder is going to catch it. It's not going to move the runner. And that's 2 down now. That's awesome. Big shout out to Lamely who helped sort us all out. Lamely's class. Their class. So we love a bit of chasing Lamely here. Yeah. Here's Dickie Pierce, flat out to left, his first at bat. I can't remember actually if she uses she or they, so apologies, Lamely. But I think they are live still, right? Lamely is still live, right? Yeah. Yeah. Where the hell did I go? Where'd my streamer dashboard go? There we go. So. Right. First pitch to Dickie Pierce. Runner on second. 2 down. I emailed a few artists about the show. That's awesome. And this one's popped up. In foul territory. First baseman's there right on the foul line. He's got it. And the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the 4th. It's 3-2 Boston. It'll be the 6, 7, 8 spots for the Red Stockings. Gene Kimball be the first man up. Mr. Carl Cox being one, that's cool. Should have emailed Pete Tong, get him on the Essential Mix. There you go. There you go. Come on now. They love a brand new artist. You know what I mean? I put that in quotes because obviously he's not a new artist, but you know, they would act like he is. Right. We got new ending, which means new sponsor. Pampas Fritas with Ranch is a Fortnite Call of Duty streamer. Give her a follow if you haven't already. She's absolutely awesome. From the great state of California, Pampas Fritas with Ranch sponsors tonight's fourth inning. If I get Pete Tong on, you'll be as hard as the diamond in the night storm. I've committed to the fact that I've accepted the fact that I will never see him play live in my lifetime. But it was for the longest time a bucket list item to actually go see him live. So never say never. You're right. That kind of environment's not really my vibe. As much as I love house music, and I love house music, being in an actual club is not really my sort of thing. I'm not a big party guy, and I'm not a big drinker. And a lot of that stuff is, you know, it's younger now too, most of it. So you might get to see him live on the Tim show. There you go. Right. Here's Gene Kimball. He had a sacrifice fly out his last at bat. First pitch to him. BRB sounds good. That's going to be taken on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Oh, he's waved at that one. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's high, ball one. The 1-2. Grounded over to first. Why is he waiting? What? It's an error. It's an error on Matthews, the pitcher. So it's an E1. I don't know why there needed to be a handoff. I would have said that Bierman should have just taken it to the bag himself. And now because of the bobbling in the handoff by Matthews, who gets credited with the error, there's a runner aboard instead of one out. Here's Joe Batten. He doubled his last at bat. First pitch to him is high and inside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Grounded over to short. They go to second for the lead runner. They got him. So Batten's aboard on a 6-4 fielder's choice. They throw Kimball out at second. That'll bring up Tom Patterson. He flied out to center his first at bat. First pitch to Patterson is high, but in the zone. Ball one. It's called at the lettering. Patterson's not impressed with that call. I'm not either. That looked way high. Here's the 0-1. That's off the plate, and it gets by the catcher. Going to second is Joe Batten. It's a pass ball. Here's the 1-1. That's lined right at the third baseman. He's got it. And that's 2 away now. here is Asa Bernard. He grounded out his last at bat. First pitch to Bernard, and he's lined this in the left, but drifting foul. 0-1 to count. Here's the 0-1. He's fouled that off as well. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Still 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Grounded over to short. Throw on to first is in time, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits. They leave one man on base. We go bottom fourth here in Philadelphia. Boston leading 3-2. 6, 7, 8 spots due up first. Dick Higham will be the first man up. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom fourth there in Philadelphia. Dick Higham settling in. He's going to lead things off for the Athletics. He had a triple his first at bat. First pitch. And that is ripped into left. Way back there. Going back, there's the left fielder. Just shy of the warning track. He's got it. One away. That'll bring up Charlie Bierman. He lined out to the second baseman his first at bat. First pitch to Bierman. And it's at the knees, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's taken high, 1-1. The 1-1. That's fouled off, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. And he swung on and missed. Bierman has struck out, 2 away. That'll bring up Neely Phelps, the right fielder. He had an RBI single his last at bat. First pitch. And he's popped this up right at the shortstop. Shortstop's there. He's got it, and the side is retired. They go down in order here in the bottom of the 4th. We move to the top of the 5th. Boston holding on to a 1-run lead. Top of the order is due up for the Red Stockings. Bub McAtee will be the first man up. New inning, new sponsor. The man scientist is an amazing human being. He is a Danish football manager streamer. He's got a great dog that he shows off on stream too. He is the editor of all the Football Manager retro databases. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The man does incredible work. The man scientist is going to sponsor tonight's 5th inning. Right, Bub McAtee settling in. He is 1 for 1 so far today with a walk. First pitch, inside, ball 1. There's the 1-0. That's popped up in foul territory. Third baseman's over there. He makes the grab, and that's 1 away. Here's Al Reach. He is 0 for 2 so far today. This says 0 for 1. I have 0 for 2. Oh, it's a he sack bunted. Never mind. He sack bunted first at bat. That's right. So he is 0 for 1 so far today. First pitch. That's off the plate inside, 1-0. There's the 1-0. Grounded over to short. The throw over to first is in time. 2 down now. That is going to bring up Tom Carey. Carey is 0 for 1 with an RBI and a stolen base. First pitch to Carey. And he's popped this up in the infield, right around the foul line. First baseman's there. He's got it. And the side is retired. They go down in order in the top of the 5th. We move to the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Boston. 9-1-2 spots due up for Philadelphia. Bobby Matthews will be the first man up. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Bottom fifth here in Philadelphia. 3-2 ball game. Bobby Matthews settles in. Just 43 pitches through the first 4 innings for Asa Bernard. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. And that's off the plate, but on the outside corner. It's not off the plate, sorry. It's on the outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded back to the mound. The throw over to first is in time. One away now. I'll bring up John Hatfield. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to Hatfield. And he has popped this up in left, in foul territory. Left fielder cannot get to it in time. It lands in the seats. And we'll do it again at 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch, or the 0-1 pitch, sorry. And this one's popped up. Shallow left. Left fielder comes in for it. He's got it, 2 down. Scott Hastings, the next man up. He's yet to actually have a registered at bat. He was hit by the pitch, and then he had a sacrifice bunt. First pitch to him. And that's low, 1-0. There's the 1-0. That's off the plate away, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Off the plate, 3-0. The 3-0. Taking all the way is Hastings, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is lined up the middle, base hit. And Hastings gets on with a 2-out knock. That's going to bring up Ed Pinkham. 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Pinkham. Right down Broad Street, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. One. That's high for a ball. Throw over to second. Not in time. And stealing second base is Scott Hastings. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And that is high, ball 3. Hitters count 3-1. Here's the pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask first base. He did not go. They're going to ask third base. He did not go, says the third base umpire. And so it is a walk for Pinkham. That's going to bring up Tom York, center fielder. York is 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to York. And that's high and away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's hot. It's at the lettering, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's popped up in foul territory. That one's going to go into the seats, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And that one's a ball, 2-2. A 2-2 pitch. That's high, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. Grounded back to the mound. The throw over to first is a bad throw. McAtee gets credit. He dropped the throw, did McAtee, so it's an E3. Pinkham is safe at second. Hastings is on third, and the bases are loaded here for Dickie Pierce. The shortstop is 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Pierce. Off the plate, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Check swing. He asked first base. He did not go, says the first base umpire. Ball 2. The 2-0 is fouled off, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch is ripped into right, base hit, and Dickie Pierce has tied this game. RBI single for Pierce. York goes to second. Pinkham goes to third. Scoring on the play is Hastings. It's a 3-3 ball game. Here's Dick Higham. He is 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Higham. He's late on that one. Strike one. It gets by the catcher, and coming in to score is Pinkham, and the Athletics take the lead. Four, 3, Philadelphia. Say hi before I got to go to bed. Pretty sure I've had food poisoning the last few days, so it hasn't been fun, and I haven't had a lot of sleep. Oh, man, I'm sorry that you do. Get a great night. Try to get a great night's sleep tonight, Thomas. Get some rest, man. Your body needs it. And I hope you feel better soon, man. I appreciate you being in here lurking the past few nights. But definitely get the rest your body needs, brother. Here's the 0-1 to Higham. And that is ripped deep into center. Right at the center fielder, though. He's got it, and the side is retired. Appreciate it? Of course, my man. Of course. I appreciate you. One run on 2 hits, and they left 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 6th, 3-3. Or I'm sorry, 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 6th, 4-3, Philadelphia. Got a bit of 4, 5, 6 spots due up for Boston. Andy Leonard will be the first man up. Mossman is an awesome FM streamer. Also has a save going with F1 Manager, which includes a 2026 mod. Look forward to that. Those are fun streams. All his streams are fun. He's just a great guy to talk to. One of the most personable FM streamers on all of Twitch. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Mossman Games sponsors tonight's 6th inning. It's Andy Leonard settling in. He's 0 for 2. First pitch to Leonard, and that is on the outside corner, 0-1. There's the 0-1. That's popped up right behind the mound. And the shortstop's got it. 1 away. And that'll bring up Tommy Beals. Beals is 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Beals. That's fouled down the first base side. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. This is fouled into left. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's line. That is fair. That is a fair ball. And it rolls all the way to the wall. Throw coming into second. He's going for third. Is he going to make it? Safe at third. And Tommy Beals has got a triple. That brings up Gene Kimball. He's 0 for 1 so far today. Runner on third, 1 out. First pitch. That is a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's high. 1-1. The 1-1 now. That's high. One. Oh, no, that's going to get by the catcher. Coming in to score is going to be Beals, and the game is tied. Here's the 2-1. It's fouled, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. That is popped up right behind second base. Second baseman's there. He's got it, and that's 2 away. I'll bring up Joe Batten. He is 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Batten. And that is inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's high, 2-0. The 2-0. And that is ripped into center. Center fielder's there, and he makes the grab just shy of the track. And the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit, and no men left on base. We go to bottom 6th here in Philadelphia. This game is tied at 4. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 spots due up for the Athletics. Charlie Bierman will be the first man up. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Right, welcome back. It's bottom 6 here in Philadelphia. Bierman the first man up. He's 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Bierman. He takes that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He's going to take that right down broad. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. High and away, 1-2. The 1-2. That's ripped foul. Still 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. Sorry, I got it bad tonight. I know that. Here's the 2-2. Ripped into right. And that's a base hit. Bierman's aboard with his first hit of the afternoon. It's going to bring up Neely Phelps, the right fielder. He's 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Phelps. As high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Off the plate, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that is ripped into left. Foul, 2-1. Here's the 2-1. And that one is in left. Is that going to stay fair? No. 2-2 to count now. The 2-2 pitch is popped up in the outfield. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab. That's 1 away. That'll bring up Bobby Matthews. I just pulled my, hold on. I just accidentally pulled my mixer. Mic check 1, 2. I know it's still good. But I just pulled my mixer out of I just yanked it. Right. Sorry. Here's the first pitch to Matthews. Matthews bunts it down back to the mound. Throw over to first is in time. So Bierman moves to second, but there's 2 outs now. We go back to the top of the order, and John Hadfield, he's 1 for 3. First pitch to Hadfield. He's taking that right down broad for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask third. He went around, says the third base umpire. It'll be 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Ripped into left, but drifting foul. It'll land there. Just hits off the wall, foul. We do it again at 0-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled off into the seats. The 0-2. Grounded down the first base side. It's a bad throw. The pitcher comes over. The throw is off target. It's going to be an error on the first baseman and Bub McAtee. That's his second error of the night. And it'll be an E3 for John Hatfield. He goes to first. Going to third is Bierman. And it's runners on the corners with 2 outs. Here's Scott Hastings. 1 for 1 so far today. First pitch to Hastings. Off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0. He's behind on that one. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Grounded back up the middle, base hit. And Hastings has given Philadelphia the lead. RBI single for Hastings. Hatfield goes to second. Bierman scores. And the Athletics lead it by a score of 5-4. Here's Ed Pinkham. 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Pinkham. That's right at the knees for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Off the plate, it gets by the catcher. Hatfield to third, Hastings to second. And it's a 1-1 count. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Off the plate, it gets by the catcher again. The throw home is not in time. And it's a wild pitch that brings Hatfield home. Going to third is Hastings, and Philadelphia's made it 6-4. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And behind on that one is Pinkham. It's 2-2. Here is the 2-2 pitch. That is ripped into right. Right fielder's there. Is he going to have it? Yes, he does. And the side is retired. 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the 7th. Philadelphia with a 6-4 advantage. 8-9-1 spot for Boston, 2 up first. It's Tom Patterson, the center fielder, who will lead things off. New inning means new sponsor. Heindo is a Grand Theft Auto 5 RP and Football Manager streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. I'm wondering, I was looking to see if he's actually live right now. I don't know. I didn't see. He is not. He is not. But give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Heindo is our sponsor for tonight's 7th inning. Tom Patterson settles into the batter's box. Patterson 0 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch. And he's behind on that one, 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped up. In right. Right fielder's there. He makes the grab. And that's 1 away. That's going to bring up Asa Bernard. He's 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch to Bernard. Check swing. They're going to ask first base. He did not go. Says the first base umpire. It's outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's flied out in the left. Left fielder's right there. He's got it. 2 away. Here's Bub McAtee settling in. He's 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to McAtee, and that's taken for, I think it's just off the plate, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And that one is high, ball 2. 2-0 now. The 2-0 pitch. That's a called strike. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded right in front of the plate. Over to first, and that's in time. And the side is retired. They go down in order in the top of the 7th. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Philadelphia. The Athletics with a 6-4 lead. As always, we are going to leave you with a rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We will be back with more in just about 2 minutes' time. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. You heard the man. We're going to play ball. Bottom 7th in Philadelphia. Been a good game so far. Athletics trying to let the home fans leave happy. Because we are above Spurs. Come on, you Irons. Come on, you Irons. What's up, Other Ump? How are you, man? Good to see you. We have had 2 really good baseball games in a row, I got to say. Monday night, Washington, Cleveland. Washington 3-0 in the top of the first. Cleveland made it 3-2 in the bottom of the second. Washington made it 4-2 in the top of the fourth. Cleveland tied it in the bottom of the fourth. Cleveland went ahead in the bottom of the fifth, 5-4. Washington took the lead 6-5 in the top of the seventh. Cleveland gets the tying run aboard in the bottom of the ninth, but they cannot bring him home. And that's a one-run game, 6-5. That was Monday's game. And here we are with this one. Boston scored in the top of the first to go up 1-0. They scored in the top of the second to make it 2-0. Philly scored in the bottom of the first to make it 2-1. Boston restored the 2-run lead in the top of the third, 3-1. Philly scored to make it 3-2 in the bottom of the third. Then they scored 2 in the bottom of the fifth to take the lead 4-3. Boston tied it in the top of the sixth to make it 4-4, and Philly is edged 2 ahead in the bottom of the sixth to make it 6-4. Here we are, bottom seventh now. Tom York settling in. He is 0 for 3 so far today. Yeah, it's good. It's been really good baseball the last 2 games, I got to admit. This is a pivotal game in the American League, by the way. Boston leading Cleveland in the American League by 2.5 games. They lead Philadelphia by 3.5. You're going to be glued to the TV. Why? NHL playoffs? NHL playoffs? NHL playoffs? I actually didn't see when they start. I know the end of the regular season's tomorrow. So I'm assuming NHL playoffs start this weekend. But why is that? Oh, I have it bad tonight. My indigestion's kicking my ass tonight. Oh Lord. All right. Here we go with the first pitch to Tom York. Oh, is that because of West Ham, you mean? And Spurs have got a tough game. Now that's inside, ball 1. I'll be keeping an eye on that too, don't you worry. Here's the 1-0. And behind on that one is York. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Flied into left, but foul. It'll land in the seats. 1-2 now. Here is the 1-2 pitch. That is absolutely shot high into right. And it's an error. Oh no, it's an error. It's an E9 instead of an F9. And York is aboard on an error by the right fielder who dropped the ball. Al Reach credited with the error. Spurs are at home against Brighton Saturday, which is a tough game for Spurs. We go to Crystal Palace on Monday. That's a tough game, though. NHL playoffs. Plus the Rays play the Pirates, so I get to talk crap to Sean. Nice. I love it. Nice. Why do I feel like everything else you listed was on the build-up to that Rays-Pirates series? Is that what it is? The build-up to the Rays Pirate series? Other, I'm sitting there like, I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I am in trouble. Here is because it was nice. That's my World Series right now. Fair enough. Gonna head to bed. Have a good night's sleep, Swanky. Take care, man. Have a great day tomorrow as well. Have a good rest of your stream, but thank you very much, man. Appreciate you. Right. Dickie Pierce settles in. Pierce is 1 for 3. First pitch to Pierce. That is off the plate away. Throw to second. Safe, and it's a bad throw. It wasn't a call strike. It was a ball. Now, is that an error on the catcher? The catcher being Tommy Beals. It is going to go down as an error to Tommy Beals. So Beals gets a throwing error. It's a stolen base for Tom York, and he goes to third on the throwing error. And here's the 1-0 pitch, and that is going to get by the catcher, and Beals comes sliding in, and he has scored. He has scored. And I don't know if that's a fastball or a wild pitch. I think it was a wild pitch, but Beals scores at 7-4 Philly. Here's the 2-0 to Pierce. And that is just inside 3-0. How you been, though, Other Ump? I hope you've been well, man. Here's the 3-0. Taking all the way is Pierce, 3-1. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped it up right at the second baseman. He's got it. And that's one away. I'm down to the last sheet in the scorebook, by the way. The final sheet in the scorebook. They give you like an extra half one in the back, but then like this side is the schedule. And then that goes for 2 pages, and then that's it. So starting on Friday's game will be in the brand new scorebook. Traveling a lot for work. My boss quit at the beginning of the month, so I had taken on the part of his. I had to take on part of his load. That's brutal. I hope you're getting compensated for it. I know that's not how things work, but I generally negotiate a lot harder now, because I used to really like when stuff like that would happen, which has happened to me 2 or 3 times now. I've been like, look, it is what it is. We'll just hunker down and get it done until they can right the ship. But then you never get any I've never gotten anything for helping to hold things down. You know what I mean? So then when and I'm not saying I'm bitter. I'm just saying I made sure I got paid more. Good. As you should, yeah. I learned my lesson. I was young, and I wanted the stability of this job because I bounced around jobs every 3 years. You know, not been fired, but just like, you know, I've just changed employment. But I had 2 higher-ups that didn't like me, and one of which tried to actively replace me at my current position, and he didn't. I thankfully outlasted him. Not my current position, but at my current place. And now I'm like, and that's after. I mean, I worked like that's after working 80 hours during COVID. And I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. There's no way I'm busting my ass that hard. And 2 months later, the guy's looking to replace me. Like, there's no, after all that's over. So, lesson learned. I'm not bitter. Don't get me wrong. I know, like, now when stuff like that happens, it has to be, I'm not touching it unless there's a bump in, like, unless there's some sort of compensation for it. So I'm happy. It sucks that the work is so much for you, man, and you're traveling so much. That I get, but I'm glad that you've at least negotiated compensation for that. Here's Dick Higgum. He's 1 for 3. I hope the travel lightens soon. Traveling for work fucking sucks, though. I will say that. That's I want to know. There's the 1-0. That is shot into left, way back there. That's in the gap. That is off the wall. And Pierce is into second base. I'm sorry, that's Higgum. Higgum's into second base. Brings up Charlie Bierman. Especially if there are you buy it and we compensate you for like the hotels and flights. That's the worst. I love my current company, don't get me wrong, but they have twice tried to get me to do that. And I'm like, no, you buy the hotel and you buy the flight, or I don't go on the trip. Like, I don't have the money to book the flight in a hotel. I'm paycheck to paycheck. Like, you buy it and give me the reservation, or this doesn't happen. Here's the first pitch to Bierman. Check swing. They go to third base. He did not go, says the third base umpire. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Or the 1-0 pitch. Sorry, it's popped up. In center. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab. That's 2 away. Here's Neely Phelps. He's 1 for 3. I hope the family's doing well, though, other ump. I hope that your family's doing all right, too. Runner on second, 2 down. First pitch to Phelps, and that is high, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. That one's going to get by the catcher. It's a pass ball. Higham goes to third. Here's the 1-1. Check swing. They asked third base. He did not go. 2-1. Well, next week I got to go to St. Louis and Cincinnati for a vacation for a baseball trip. My friends I met playing OTP back during COVID. Now that is fucking awesome. We're all GMs and commissions LBs league together. That's sick. And have become best friends. I'm meeting 2 of them in St. Louis for the game on Friday against the M's next week. Then the 3 of us are driving to Cincy. I'm meeting up with the other 2 for the Reds Hall of Fame ceremony and games against the Tigers. That's awesome. Now, how far of a drive from St. Louis to Cincinnati is? I'd imagine that's like 6.5 hours. I'd imagine that's a lengthy drive. But that is freaking sick. I didn't realize you were a GM in Commission LB's chat. I still have to figure out how that universe works because, and I'm not saying this as a negative thing, but I felt pressured when I got gifted a sub to make a created player. And I was like, I didn't really want to do it because I know I wasn't going to be able to be in commission streams very often. And I haven't been. Most of the time it's been lurking because we're live at the same time. So I have a created player, but he's not been drafted. And I'm like, I don't think he's ever going to get to play baseball. I think 5 hours? Nice. Yeah, I don't think the guy that I made is going to ever play baseball in the league. I just don't think it's going to happen. He's 33 draft eligible, but I'm like, I haven't been able to like boost him because I haven't been able to like be there to give subs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm so aloof as to the process. And I'm like, listen, I could sit down and figure it out, but like, I just got so much else going on. You know what I mean? And I stream 6-7 days a week, so it's like I never actually give myself the time to sit down and figure it out anyway. Love his streams, though. I mean, that universe is incredible. What Kamish does is absolutely incredible. And I love the man himself. He's insanely kind. But if you ever need help, I am more than happy to help. It is actually really easy to do free to play. I'll send you the easy mode free to play. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm in his Discord, so I just want to get my player into the save. I'm assuming the 33 draft is coming up very soon. So I have a feeling he's going to go undrafted. But we'll see. Here's the 2-1 to Neely Phelps. That's high, 3-1. Because I mean, like the whole talk of like boosts and stuff, and like I kind of understand it, but like I don't really know. I don't really know all these cogs in the wheels. You'll be drafted in the first 5 rounds, guaranteed. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get played though. I don't think my guy. I can promise you. I don't think my guy is going to get played. We'll see. Last I checked, he's not really that great. I might be able to see. I should still have his tab up, actually. Let me just close this tab. Lamely's going offline, so let me close their tab real quick. Let me see this. I had the tab up. Where the hell is it? Did I close it? Don't tell me I closed it. I would have closed it, and the one time I actually need it. All right. Oh, here we go. Uh. Oh, I have the sheet from when we boosted him last, but I don't have the I don't have the I don't have the actual character sheet. God damn it. Yeah, I don't have the character sheet. Hold on. EMLB community created players. Here we go. Available boosts for me is 4. Uh, total lifetime boost right now is 71. And boost this year was 50. And no, boost this year was 5. No, boost this year was 50. Non-GM, yes. 5 on 316. So that was the last boost we completed. So I have no idea what his overall is. No idea what his overall is, though. So, but yeah, there we go. I kept that tab up for when I needed it. Let me go back to my streamer dashboard now. Because where the hell is I have way too many. I have 290 tabs open. There we go. That's fine. All you need is the boost sheet. You'll be drafted probably first or second round based on that. Let me look at the mock draft. Stand by. Sounds good. I will make you this promise as the Twins GM. I would draft you if you were there in the third or fourth round. I don't think you want me. He's a 5 foot. He's a 5 foot shortstop. He's a 5'0" shortstop, I think. So he's a short ass, man. Right, here's the 3-1 pitch. That is ripped into center, right at the center fielder, though. He's going to have it, and the side is retired. No runs on, oh no, I'm sorry, 1 run on 1 hit, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the 8th. It is 7-4 Philadelphia. That is the position I need in my team. Yeah, but 5 foot though. A lot of I don't know if baseball. I don't know if Out of the Park prioritizes height as much as Football Manager. I think FM players prioritize height too much. But I do think height has some importance in Football Manager. Like they will literally, if you have a 5'9" forward who has 11 jumping reach and 11 heading, and you're in not the Prem, let's say you're in like a decent league, like Hungary, or you're in like Serbia, that's a decent player. But if FM players will always overlook him and say, "Oh, he's 5'10", he can't really head the," and I'm like, dude. Like, I saw somebody the other day on Football Manager. I don't know if you play Football Manager. The attributes are rated 1 out of 20 in Football Manager, right? 20 being the highest, right? I genuinely saw somebody. Oh, I play FM. Nice. I genuinely saw somebody yesterday praise a 6 foot striker, right? This is in the women's game, mind you. So 6 foot considered very tall in the women's game. I mean, it's tall in the men's game, but not like very tall. Whereas like 6 foot, the women's game is very tall. She was 6 foot with a jumping reach of 12, but a heading of 4. And I'm like, he's like, oh, the guy was like, oh, she's gonna bang in the goals from corners. And I'm like, she's actually not, because like, she's got 4 heading, which means she can reach the ball. She'll reach the ball very well, but she's not going to get the right part of her head on it to direct it on goal. You're going to have a lot that go over the goal, you know? I think they prioritize height at center back too much. I agree. Now, I did have a 6'8" center back with me at Gimpo, right, which is in Korea, and he had a jumping reach of 18 and a heading of I think 17. And I got to tell you, he scored like 7 or 8 corners. He scored I think 7 or 8 headers from corners this season. Like, the dude was unreal. But when you have 18 jumping reach and 17 heading, he's gonna dominate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter what league he's in, but now when you're in the K League, especially, you're not in the Prem and you're not in the book, you're in the K League. He's gonna dominate, and he did. You know what I mean? Like, he was money. So, but I do think height is a little bit over prioritized. Height only affects jumping reach. Like, it's literally in the manual, the FM manual, that height will affect jumping reach, but it does not affect heading. It only affects jumping reach. So the taller players means they can reach the ball better, but they have to be able to direct it on goal. You know? So I hate how it's over. But there's a lot I hate about FM players. I shouldn't say hate. You know what I mean? I love the FM community. Don't get me wrong. But there's some things about it that drive me up a little bit of a wall sometimes. Prioritizing height is one thing. Not signing players over 30 is another. Like, I've had some players. I've had a Pedro de la Vega at Seattle who was 36, who I had a pass around save where you take it for a season. Like, you play your season, and then you hand it off to the next guy. He plays his season. He hands it off to the next guy, and you go around. And I re-signed a 36-year-old Pedro de la Vega because the dude had an average attribute, even his physicals, they averaged like 12 or 13, and we were playing at Seattle in MLS. And I'm like, that's like decent for the league, 12, 13. That's around league quality. But he scored me 7 goals and 15 assists in like 28 games that he played that season. And I'm like, listen, I understand he's 36, but if he's going to produce, why would you not re-sign him? Like, his physicals didn't deteriorate. Like, latest mock draft has you round 4, fair enough. Like, I thought he's going to deteriorate, sure, but like, you can get another season out of him. And he had 22 goal contributions. Like, I don't care if he's 36. He had 22 goal contributions. Like, you know, bring FM back Sunday, Zegon, Sunday. Right. Here's outreach. No, not someday. Sunday. Sunday caramel. Yeah. Here's the first pitch to reach. That's high. I want to know. So the reason I pushed FM to Sunday is because I want to finish the season. I want to finish the season Sunday because I can spend the week doing the off season. You know what I mean? And it won't be like last weekend or the weekend prior where I'm rushing myself to get it done between like Friday night and Monday, or Friday night and Sunday. And I come into Sunday and it's not done, and we're sitting through 3 months of off season on stream for like 6 hours. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I want to be able to finish the season for you guys on Sunday. And then the next time I stream FM is the following weekend, and I'm like, hey, here's season 15. Do you know what I mean? And all that boring bullshit, that's the off season, because the off season in these countries have been like 4 or 5 months. You know, I can chew through all of that. You guys don't have to sit here watch me doing that, you know. There's a lot of good football on Sunday. That's true. Here's the 1-0. That is ripped into left. Sliding catch. He's got it. What a play. A sliding catch from left fielder John Hatfield. Sits outreach down here in the 8th. The other thing, too, is, and other ump might know about this. I don't know if he does or not, but I think next week I'm going to reach out to Nick Deep and Edho and say, hey, I'm really interested in becoming an Out of the Park affiliate. Like, I think the content here is good enough and unique enough that it would be a good addition to the Out of the Park affiliate team. I think that would be good. I would like to do that. Here's Tom Carey. 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Carey. Grounded foul down the first base side. 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask first base. He did not go, says the first base umpire. I mean, this is a save that's carried on since June. So it'd be nice to, you know, when we're in the second half of the season, it'd be nice to I just feel like I would be a good addition to the team. I don't know. It's not for me to decide though. Here's the 1-1. And he's offered at that one, 1-2. We do franchise hockey manager here too, so. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Here's the one. Oh, what is that? Did I miss that? I did not. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Off the plate away, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Off the plate, 3-2. And the count is full. Here's the 3-2 pitch. It's fouled into the seats. Still 3-2. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Grounded back up the mound. The throw over to first is in time. 2 away now. Here is Andy Leonard settling in. 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Leonard. That's inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is right down broad, 1-1. A 1-1 pitch. Grounded over to first. And it's a bad throw. It is a bad throw. It's not a bad throw. It's a bad catch. It's a second error of the game on Bobby Matthews. How you been, by the way, Zegon? I hope you're well, man. That'll bring up Tommy Beals. Beals, 2 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Beals. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. There's the 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. The one throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Late on that one is Leonard, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch is lined right at the first baseman. He's got it, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's 7-4 Philadelphia. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. right, bottom eighth. And here's the Bobby Matthews will lead things off. 9-1-2 spots for Philadelphia. They lead by 3. First pitch to Bobby Matthews. That's high, ball 1. The 1-0. Matthews 0 for 2 so far today. That's fouled. And it'll be 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. He's fouled that one off. 1-2 now. The 1-2 pitch. Grounded over to short. And that is a fumble. Error on the shortstop who fumbled handling the ball. That's shortstop Andy Leonard. And it's the 5th error of the night for Boston. And Matthews is aboard. We go back to the top of the order in John Hatfield, who's 1 for 4. First pitch to Hatfield. High and in, ball 1. Throw over to first. Matthews is back in time. The 1-0. Fouled. I'm sorry, the 0-1 was fouled. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Shot. Got it. Did they get him safe at first? Matthews just touches the bag in time, but that was lined right at the was it the shortstop that got it? It was a swung on line shot between them, and he swipes at it. He puts it in front of the puts it away from him. But let's go to the game log and find out. That was a shortstop who got it. It was F6. It was L6. That's going to bring up Scott Hastings. Hastings is 2 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Hastings. And he's offered at that one 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Hastings has grounded that right back to the mound. They go to second. They got him at second. It's a 1-4 fielder's choice. They'll throw out Matthews at second, and Hastings will take up first. 2 down now. Here's Ed Pinkham, 1 for 3 today. And that is all off the plate away, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's high, 2-0. Throw over to first. And Hastings is back safely. The 2-0. Inside, ball 3. 3-0 pitch to Pinkham. He's waved at that one. 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. Grounded over the second. Throw on to first is in time, and the side is retired. No runs on, no hits, and they leave one aboard. We go to the top of the 9th. It's 7-4 Philadelphia. 6, 7, 8 spots due up for Boston. Gene Kimball going to lead things off in this inning. Here's the first pitch to Kimball. That's in the dirt, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Waved at and missed, 1-1. A 1-1. On the inside part of the plate for a strike. It's 1-2. The 1-2. That's high, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch is popped up in center. Center fielder's there. He makes the grab, and that's 1 away. Here's Joe Batten to settle in. Batten currently 1 for 3. First pitch to Batten, and he has ripped this into right. That's a base hit. And extra bases as well for Batten. Here comes the throw. Is he going to go to third? He's going to go for third. The throw to third. Not in time, and Joe Batten's got himself a triple. Here's Tom Patterson. 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch to Patterson. That's taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. High, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is shot high into center, right at the center fielder. He's got it, and I don't believe they tag. No, Joe Batten stays on third, and Boston are down to their final out. It's going to be a pinch hitter to replace Asa Bernard in the pitcher spot. Bob Addy will settle in. He is 7 for 13 so far this season. 4 for 6 as a pinch hitter, and he fouls this first pitch off. Here's the 0-1. That's high, 1-1. The 1-1 is lined right at the third baseman. He's got it, and the side is retired. The ball game is over as Philadelphia, with a much-needed win. They needed to win. They do go and win at home in front of their home fans. Boston dropped 2 straight now. The final score in this one, the Boston Red Stockings 4, the Philadelphia Athletics 7. That is a massive win for Philly. It keeps them alive in the hunt for the American League. They're going to pull within 2.5 games. We'll go over the standings in a minute, but first let's go over the statistics for the visiting Boston Red Stockings. Bub McAtee had 3 at-bats. He got 1 hit. He scored 1 run. He had 1 base on balls, and he had a fielding error. Al Reach had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had 1 sack. He had 1 stolen base. He scored 1 run. He made 1 fielding error. Tom Carey had 3 at-bats. He had a stolen base. He did not have a hit. He had a sack and an RBI. Andy Leonard had 4 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had an RBI and made a fielding error. Tommy Beals had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits, one of which was a triple. He scored 1 run. He scored 2 runs, beg your pardon, 2 runs. And he made a fielding error. Gene Kimball had 3 at-bats. He did not get a hit. He had 1 sack, and it was an RBI sack. Joe Batten had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits. 1 was a double, and 1 was a triple. Tom Patterson had 4 at-bats. He did not get a hit. Asa Bernard had 3 at-bats. He did not get a hit. And Bob Addy had 1 at-bat. He did not get a hit. Total at-bats for the Boston Red Stockings. 3 and 3 is 6, and 3 is 9, and 3 is 13, and 4 is 13. And 4 is 17, and 3 is 20, and 4 is 24, and 4 is 28, and 3 is 30. 1 and 1 is 32 at-bats. Runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. That's not right. 1, 2. Oh, I read that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. Hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits, of which one of those hits was a double. 2 of those hits were triples. 1 base on balls. No strikeouts. 2 stolen bases. 1, 2, 3 sacrifices. 3 RBIs. And 5 fielding errors? 5 fielding errors. We'll go over the pitcher statistics in a moment. Let's do the hometown, the batting statistics for the hometown Philadelphia Athletics. John Hatfield had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 2 runs. Let's see. Scott Hastings had 3 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He had 1 RBI. He scored run 1. He had a stolen base. He had a sacrifice. Ed Pinkham had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had a base on balls. He scored 1 run. Tom York had 4 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had 1 run and a stolen base. Dickie Pierce had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had an RBI, and he had a fielding error. Dick Higham had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits. 1 was a double. 1 was a triple. He scored 1 run. Charlie Bierman had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He scored 1 run. He struck out once. Neely Phelps had 4 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had 1 RBI. Bobby Matthews had 3 at-bats. He did not have a hit. He had a sacrifice, and he made 2 fielding errors. So total statistics for the Philadelphia Athletics. 5 and 3 is 8, and 4 is 12, and 4 is 16, and 4 is 20, and 4 is 24, 4 is 28, and 4 is 32, and 3 is 35. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing a run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not missing a run. I can't count. Hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 hits. That's correct. Doubles 1, triples 1, base on balls 1, strikeouts 1, stolen base 2, sacrifices just the 1. Just the 1. Just 2. 2. Sorry, there's 2. RBIs, 3. Fielding errors, 3. Let's go to your pitching statistics now. Asa Bernard will get credited with the loss. He pitches 8 innings. I have his pitch count 127. 126. Oh, no, 126 for him. Yeah, I got it. 126. Base on balls 1. Strikeouts 1. Hits were 9. Runs were 7. Earned just the 1. His record will decline to 10-4 on the season. Bobby Matthews is credited with the win. He pitched 9 innings. I have his pitch count at 121. Base on balls 1. Strikeouts none. Hits 5. Runs 4. Earned 3. He will improve to 10-7 on the season. Official game time, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Official attendance, 997 in this one. And that closes the chapter on our scorebook. Look at that. I turned the page, and it says season schedule. So we're done. This scorebook is done. This scorebook's going to be retired now. There you go. A completed scorebook. I'll put it on the bookshelf after stream, and it'll sit there until whatever I decide to do with it. But we'll have a brand new scorebook for the next game. Next game, right? In other news, the Fort Wayne Kankiungas managed to defeat the Washington Olympics in a close game, 4-3 for Fort Wayne. That's big in their National League pennant race. Washington pretty much sinks their hopes. Let's look at what this does for the overall standings. In the American League, Boston now sit at 12-4. That pulled Cleveland within 2 games. Philadelphia pulled themselves within 2.5 at 11-8. The loss by Washington drops them to 6.5. And they have 11 games left to play. In the national, well, at least for Washington's side, Boston still have 16 left. They are now at the halfway point of their season. So everybody's played at least half their games now. Boston was the last one to get to the halfway mark. They are now at the halfway mark as Boston. But they have games in hand, and they lead the division. In the National League, the win for Fort Wayne pulls them to within a game of the National League lead. Chicago White Stockings are at the top, alone at the top at 10-7. Fort Wayne is at 11-10. Rockford are coming on strong, 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 3 straight now, and they are sitting at 12-11. They have 9 games left to play in their season. The New York Mutuals are at 8-8, a game and a half back. The Troy Haymakers are sitting at 4-19. They are 9 games back now, with 9 games to play. So a win by Chicago, any remaining win by Chicago or any remaining loss by Troy will eliminate the Haymakers. So that's where we're at. Let's go to the scores. We're going to advance the day. No game on the 19th. We're going to advance to the 20th. And the next game will be the New York Mutuals at the Washington Olympics. That will be Friday's game, is New York at Washington. Sunday, we are going to do a game as well, and that game is going to be Rockford at New York. That's a big game in the National League, so you definitely want to check both those games out. Monday's game will be New York at Fort Wayne. That's going to be a massive game as well. And then the game next Thursday will be Boston at Rockford. So that's the schedule that we got coming up. And then next weekend, on the Saturday, it will be Philadelphia at Fort Wayne. We're looking at that. That is Saturday that's looking at Saturday the 25th. And then that looks like that's all we got for now on the schedule for Out of the Park. I'm going to take a week without Out of the Park, the week of the 27th. Right now, I don't have Out of the Park scheduled. That might change. Maybe May 2nd we do that. Maybe that's what we do May 2nd, that weekend. We pull out the other, but we'll probably do that actually. I would look forward to that. But that's where we're at with the game. So May 2nd's game would then be the game on the 28th, and we would still have 2 more games to go in July after that. So you're looking at May 2nd, and then potentially this game on May 3rd or 4th, and then this game either the weekend after on the 9th or on the 10th, one of the two. And then that will be the end of July, and we'll be into August. So how many games in August? We got 1, 2, 3. Big gap in August. 4, 5. Another big gap in August. 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 games in August. A lot of gaps. September's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 in September. And October's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that is it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because the rest is the World Series. So we're getting there. We're getting there. We have once I get to the back end of that scorebook, we'll be into the World Series. So remember, the team that wins the National League and the team that finishes top in the American League will go to the World Series. So right now it would be Boston versus Chicago. Anyway, if you're on YouTube, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye for now.